What's up, guys? A Yuck Monday after the Panthers squander amazing opportunity to take a stranglehold of the NFC South, losing on the field goal 20-17 to the Saints. It was just I don't know if you can tell what that is, but I could pretty much probably just hold that up, and that would be the greatest explanation of the game. But I think it's even more after sleeping on it and whatever, because as a diehard fan, you live and die by the wins, losses, and when your team's 162 or have 162 games or 82, or you can take gross losses and they fall off your back a little easier, at least they do for me. And when you have the opportunity we had yesterday, and it was just such a disjointed game with all the penalties, and I'm not saying all of the penalties weren't penalties. I think a lot of those things, especially the Ike Ekwonu penalty after Cam Jordan did his mess that he always does, I think that's more of a judgment call, and I think that on the slide, he slid awful late, and the Derek Brown personal foul, initially I thought it was a red call, but I think he got more of the shoulder, so I don't think we played well. We played well in spurts, and I don't mind going for it on that 4th and a quarter of a yard. I absolutely hate the play call. Use Mitchell Evans. Use anyone else, or do the flip on the outside that we've done to Rico a few times. I think there just needs to be more. I don't think there was conviction with that play call, and just going into a mass of bodies on a goal line defense. The Saints played it well, and our offensive line got beat up by it, but I just hated the play call. We weren't able to step on the neck. And after the defense got the 4th down stop on the unfortunate offsides on the field goal, but we were able to make a stop there. We couldn't get first downs and get in a rhythm there either. The third and 6, we were up 17-10, I think then too. And T-Mac doesn't get enough depth on it's only a 4-yard catch. It's the little things. Shaw Smith-Wade missed a couple of interceptions. Mike Jackson missed a couple interceptions maybe, but those were lucky plays by the Saints. Christian Roseboom misses the fumble, recovering the fumble. The 4th quarter defense on Olave was putrid. The all-out blitz on the 3rd and 6 at the goal line, but nobody gets there right away, which allows Chris Olave to beat J.C. Horn, and that's been a nightmare matchup for J.C. Horn. No sugarcoating that. It's the 4th and the quarter yard that just keeps bugging me, and it's going to keep bugging me for a while. Because that's just an opportunity to separate and step on the neck, and we didn't do it, and we let them hang around, and the Saints are building a culture-ish, and I think Tyler Shuck has some game, but he's got to be very, very careful with the slide stuff, and that needs to be reevaluated, and it should be more of a judgment call, but it's a crappy game. It's a very, very big red mark to a season that you feel like there's a lot of growth. But I think that Dave Canales kind of has to pick a lane, go no holds barred like he did against Green Bay and the Rams, or go weirdly conservative / weird like he's done against the Saints twice, and we haven't turned the ball over recently, which hasn't given us holes, which is good in that regard. But it just kind of, there was no rhythm. There was no. He abandoned the run game a little bit more in the fourth quarter too. And I think Bryce had to use his legs a little too much yesterday than we're used to seeing, which, and Chase Young made that big play on the sack to get it to 3rd and 14. So that was the game-changing play. But so I think the offensive line got beat up a little bit, obviously, on the 4th and a quarter yard play. That was the big reason why there. But I think Dave Canales kind of needs to pick a lane in how he approaches games and understanding the situational. And I know everybody's like, well, he should have kicked the field goal. And hindsight's 1,000, but it's a quarter yard. If you can't get a quarter yard, then maybe there's something wrong there. You saw a lot of good. Gibson played his butt off. Bobby Brown was very effective. That fourth quarter was just very disjointed, and we couldn't take advantage of the good Sam Martin punts. One at the 5-yard line in the second quarter. We could get off the field on 3rd and long, and that's a big problem. I don't know if Evero survives this. He might be a head coaching candidate for some. I don't know. He's been in the cycles, so maybe a change there. But obviously, need a bit better talent. But I think we had a lot of opportunities yesterday, and we just didn't finish, didn't execute, and that's obvious. But I think if we're sitting here right now and we didn't know how the season got to where it got, would we take 7-7 and playing meaningful football going to Christmas? I think that answer would be yes. And that's the one thing that I preached this year, was that I wanted us to be watchable and relevant. We are those two things, but we are the most frustrating and weird team that I can remember in Panthers history. But we are making strides, so let's not get that part twisted. But will we look back with disgust with these two Saints games and the fact that the Saints are owning us right now? Yeah, we are. But as always, keep pounding. Go Panthers. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys.